Is there such a thing as too much meta? Teen Titans Go to the Movies. So I went and saw this with my daughter today, and now I'm going to talk about it. So a little bit of history. I'm familiar with the Teen Titans. I never have read their comics. I saw a little bit of the older version of the TV show. Never really grabbed me. It seemed fine, but I never really was a fan of it. Teen Titans Go, I have seen the reason when my daughter watches it. She used to watch it more than she does now, but she watches it. I saw it that way. I thought, this is silly and ridiculous, but it's kind of fun. It's got good energy. I kind of like the humor. Although I know that fans of the older versions of the Teen Titans and fans of the even older version, i.e. the comics, tend to really hate Teen Titans Go, which I think is a little bit unfair. But in any case, this is the movie version of Teen Titans Go. Now, in case you have not seen any Teen Titans stuff, the Teen Titans are a team of teenage heroes. The heroes who appear in this film are the same ones from the TV show, meaning Robin, Cyborg, Beast Boy, Starfire, and Raven. So they are a team of heroes. Obviously, they are young heroes, and Teen Titans Go is very much a comedic take on this. It's a parody, basically, sort of in the classic Mad Magazine style. So it's that as a feature-length film, and it's pretty good. Actually, I think it's quite good, considering how easily something like this could have really been stretched out and really been drawn to the point of death. Now, if you already don't like Teen Titans Go, this is absolutely not going to turn you around. It is dealing in that same kind of humor, and it is pitched at a younger audience. That said, my daughter laughed a lot, but I laughed a lot too. I think most of the jokes work really well. If you have an aversion to toilet humor, which I do, there aren't many bodily function jokes, but the ones that they have are kind of extended. Although that said, as someone who normally doesn't like those jokes and cringes at them, they didn't make me cringe that hard, so I suppose that's means they're well done. I remember seeing a review that described this as Deadpool for kindergartners, and I think that's kind of accurate. Although the way I thought of it was Lego Batman with less structure. And what I mean by that is, one of the things about Lego Batman is, for all the jokes and all the meta going on in that, it had at its core a pretty straightforward narrative. This one, while there is always a goal that these characters have, and that never changes, they're always after the same things, the divergences they take are much more sort of sectioned off and sort of sketch-like in that way. So it's a lot less structured than Lego Batman, but it feels sort of cut from the same cloth in terms of its humor and the pace of it as well. As far as the actual plot goes, this is crazy meta, this whole thing. So Teen Titans Go, the TV show, part of the reason it's unpopular with some fans of the Teen Titans from various other versions of them is because they're silly and ridiculous. So the plot of the film is that the Teen Titans, or Robin specifically, who's the leader, really want to have a movie made of them, but they won't get a movie made of them because everyone thinks they're silly and ridiculous. And so it is a commentary. It does meta jokes on superhero films, the oversaturation of superhero films, the excessively deep cuts being done in superhero films, and this has plenty of deep cuts of its own. The dismissal of lightness. It has meta jokes about itself. This is a level of meta that I don't think I've seen since South Park Bigger, Longer Uncut. And if it's been a while since you've seen that, remember that was a movie that came out and a big part of the plot hinged on the negative parental reaction to a animated film that was meant for adults but kids snuck into anyways. In other words, the South Park film was a parody of itself. And this is kind of doing a version of the same game. But again, aimed at kids. And I'll remind folks, my daughter is 6, so I think she's right in the sweet spot. She is the target age for this. That said, I do think there is enjoyment elsewhere. There are deep cuts. There are a few more, I don't want to say adult jokes, like there's nothing like, ooh, that's a dirty one they won't get. Not so much that, but there are a couple of blinking you miss some jokes. There are jokes that, like I said, they're deep cuts. There was a joke about cameos that, you know, I know my daughter didn't get, but I thought was quite funny. There's a joke about Batman's origin that's actually really dark, but was also really funny. The voice cast is great. The core main characters are the same voices from the TV series, so they can do this in their sleep. The primary villain is Slade, which is the Teen Titans TV show's version of Deathstroke. And he's voiced by Will Arnett, which in itself is almost kind of a meta thing since he also voices Lego Batman. You've got a bunch of other stuff going on in there. I think the most notable one, at least that I caught, I should have looked up who the other people voicing like superheroes and cameos were, because I'm pretty sure most of the casting were jokes. Again, a bit like Lego Batman, but I know in this case, Nicolas Cage was voicing Superman, which is kind of funny in and of itself. And if you know anything about the history of Superman films that did or didn't get made, that again, really meta joke. So it moves along really speedily. There's a lot of songs in it. There's quite a bit of singing. And I actually think some of the songs might come to sort of back to back to back. And I'm like, oh my God, is it going to be songs like this rapid fire all the way through? And there is some more space between them later on. But early on, they do happen really rapid fire. But it eases off a little bit after that. I mean, I really have, unless the type of humor and unless this take on the characters just flat out doesn't appeal to you, and I know it doesn't for some people, that's fine, but unless that's the case, I really have nothing to complain about this film. It is a really good version of what it's trying to be in terms of who it's aimed at, the kind of humor it's trying to do, the pace at which it does it, and the jokes by and large land. The closing joke right before the end credits, I laughed harder at that joke than I think anything else this year. I laughed harder at that joke than anything in Deadpool 2. So I think it's doing something right. And again, acknowledging that there are a fair amount of fans who just flat out hate this thing. And if that is you, obviously skip it. But if it's not, I say check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time. I think kids will have fun with it. And it's just, yeah, it's enjoyable. It's upbeat. It's catchy. It's ridiculous. And if you know all the references that they're pulling, really kind of clever in again, the sort of meta level of it. But even if you don't appreciate all the meta-ness, it's still fun and funny. And if you do, all the better. So yeah, I did think it was going to be good because I liked the TV show and the trailer. I was like, seems like they seem to have a handle on this. So I thought it was going to be good, but even that, it was better than I thought it would be. It's no masterpiece, but yeah, pretty good time. It's definitely one of the best, if not the best, kids film that I've seen so far this year. And because I'm trying to remember what other ones I've seen this year, and you know, I haven't had too many. Well, no, I've had one massive groaner. I ended up getting dragged to Show Dogs because my daughter really loves dogs. That one hurt, but other than that, you know, it's been pretty solid for kids films, but I think this is the best one I've seen so far this year. So I'll end it on that note. Teen Titans Go, have you seen it? What do you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. There's links to all the stuff to do. You know what it is. I do have a Patreon, but there's a bunch of other stuff. If you care, links are in the description. Remember, folks, you are the council. I just run the meetings. And until next time, this council is adjourned.